All right, so we are going to take a look at Thurston County and what's happening in the market in the month of September. This is a big thing for me. And so if you're looking at my graph, I like to look long term. And this is 10 years ago. And this is where we are today and what's happened in the market. And it's happened in the housing industry. One of the things that you should note on this, and I will often go back to it because I'm not a big drama guy. So if you want to clickbait and be all stressed out about what's happening, I'm not a big stress guy over those, because I think home ownership is really a powerful tool for people to build wealth in their life, to stabilize their monthly expenses of cost of shelter. And so just to kind of look at a 10-year, it kind of diffuses some of the things that you'll hear on the market of what's happening and everything's crashing and going hell in a handbasket, which I don't know. It just doesn't seem that way if you look at a big picture. But if you look at a week over week or month over month, you'll kind of get a little discouraged, I'm sure. So here's where we're at as of September. This is the average sales price. It's $547,000. And that's where we're at today. And if you can go back, you can look, that's, about double of it was 10 years ago. We have had a big increase of price year over year. And that's coming off of our big recession that we had prior to that. So this is where we are today. And here's something I think is super interesting for people to understand. When I talk about like a 10-year, we didn't build enough homes, this is how that shows up. This is how that shows up. When we haven't built homes for 10 years, at least is enough that should be there. We had it back here. We had 6 months of inventory. 6 months of inventory is, by some analysts saying, that's about a balanced market. Some people talk about it being 4 to 6 months, but when you have 4 to 6 months, this is where we were years ago, back in 2015. And then we went through this continual people coming back in, beginning to buy homes again. And we didn't really have enough homes being built to really stabilize the market at that point in time. So when people say it was just a crazy couple years in COVID, there is some truth to that, but that's not the full story. That's why we're going back 10 years. It slowly began to drop of months of supply. Now we're below, this is all seller's market, hot seller's market. This is back in 2016. This wasn't COVID years, this was pre-COVID years, and we continually to go down. Now, when we get into the unicorn years, here we are. The unicorn years of 6 months or of under a month of inventory. That means it's hitting the market, it's getting sold because it's priced anywhere close to reasonable, or even just priced, it's selling off the market. And then so we've had this, and then we have our interest rates. Like if you're looking at please follow, if you look at the interest rates, they start to creep up and everybody's saying, oh, inventory's doubled. Yeah, we're at 1.3 months. Yeah, it's doubled. Look back 10 years. Is this even close to 6 months? No. What happened is we haven't built enough homes and we're in that same predicament, and it's going to be years to flesh itself out. So the interest rates have slowed buyer demand, but hasn't killed buyer demand. People who I believe, if you're like me, you believe in stabilizing your cost of shelter. If you also recognize that I would like to eventually own my home and want to live in a neighborhood and all of those things of where I'd prefer, and want to make the home my own, make it my own kitchen, make it through the things, paint the walls, all the stuff that you get to do as a homeowner. And well, this is what's going on is there's slower demand for that, but it's not no demand. And people are just choosing to say, hey, listen, 8% interest rate or 7.5% interest rate. That's close to when I bought my first home. Actually, first house I bought was over 8% interest rate. That's why I have no hair left, is because, yes, I am old. But this is what we're looking at. We have that, which is really interesting for me to be able to kind of understand what's happening. What we're seeing, if we look on a days on market, right now it's 31. We go back 10 years ago, it was 90. And remember, we're having a balanced market is 70. We are when it was really crazy, like I said, days on market was really low. Had a little bit of a bump up, and now it's dropping back down because people are settling into finding the homes they want at a better cadence and then being able to purchase it. So I look at these, it's, you hear all the things in the news. And if you follow me or know me at all personally, you realize I think the fear thing is never, fear of missing out is never good. Also, the whole fear of like, it's all going to hell in a handbasket is never good either, because a 10-year data report definitely tells a different story. And I think that that's really important for us to understand. Now, when we talk about like this, we talk about this percentage of list price. So percentage is list price is when somebody brings it to the market, what's it really truly selling for? And so what we have here is it's selling right around the percentage of what it's coming to market for. You will see prices that are, and this is kind of how this averages out. Some are priced low and are going over asking, and then some are priced a little too high and are coming down. And that happens in most markets. You will find that some sellers are like, I think my home's worth $1 billion. And everybody else says, I think it's worth about 450. So you you have that type of thing where it isn't necessarily accurate, but with good agents pricing the home as it should be, marketing the home as it should be, people are buying the home and it's coming out to be pretty close. And we're kind of getting into that adjustment than we were historically on that. So just as a quick update on what's happening there's our days on market, our closed sales. What's happening is this is really fascinating. When I mentioned before, there's less buyer demand. There really is. There are fewer homes being sold. Absolutely. There's fewer homes that are being sold than there were back here where interest rates were lower, affordability was a little bit stronger, and then it creeped up and we have our chaos years, but we're down as far as transaction volume. It's less people are selling their home. And I don't blame him. If you're sitting on a 3% interest and you don't have to, then it kind of goes back to the bigger rocks of why people buy and sell homes in general. So this is what we're experiencing here. And we're down to the transaction volume year over year is definitely down. You'll see this number here. It's down 33% year over year. And then from my perspective, that's okay. Like, this doesn't make me stressed out, make me fearful, make me anything of saying it just, there's less buyer demand, but there's also not a ton of homes on the market as we looked at before. So that's what we kind of give you a good idea of what's happening in the market. And I think it's very, very important to kind of understand these numbers and really what's going on. Now, I'm going to end with this last number because I think this is that panic button that is on the market. It's on the news. Everybody says, it's all crashing. In different parts of real estate, yes, there is very much strain on the market. A lot of that is in the commercial real estate sector. And people kind of bundle commercial and residential, and it just isn't really wise to do that because they're really two different markets in general. And even when they start talking about throwing in multifamily into the residential market, that's really not how it plays out, because anything 5 units or more, multifamily 5 units or more, even though people talk about that as being residential, it's not. That's a commercial investment. That's an investor pool that are acquiring those homes. And what that is, they're different loan packages, completely different loan packages that normally have to be recast every 5 to 7 years. So interest rates affect them differently than you and me as average homeowners. The bank's not coming to me and saying, hey, 5 years into my loan, we need to recast it with the new interest rates. They don't. We buy a fixed 30-year interest rate, and that's what we lock ourselves into. Well, so why that gets a little bit confusing is because when you see certain sectors dropping in value, you think, oh, that's got to happen across all sectors. In Thurston County, we are up, if you look at this little number right here, we are up 1.8% year over year. So houses didn't drop in our market at all. They've actually gone up 1.8%. And personally, as a homeowner who pays taxes, I'm okay with a 1% year over year, or 1.88%. And I've been talking about this for about a year now, or 2 years, that as interest rates come up, it's going to kind of stabilize. We're going to have a very slow year over year. Sometimes it might be at 1%. Sometimes it might be at 0.5% drop, maybe in a couple years, and then up 1.2%. That's really okay. Like, historically, those are very, very good numbers. And we like to see that because that's a really stabilized price. And we buy homes, like I said originally, is so that eventually you'll pay that thing off, and that you won't have a mortgage payment. Your cost of shelter is going to go down just to basically paying taxes, so that you really have that stabilized. So in our market, it didn't crash. So if you're hearing people say it's crashing, prices are dropping, and this is Thurston County, it's just not happening. We actually have a 1.8% year over year increase. And that to me as a homeowner is a good number, because that's when they reassess the value of the home and taxes. My taxes aren't probably going to go as much. And it really does stabilize the cost of shelter and giving hope. So hopefully that's hopeful for you. Gets rid of all the drama and all the chaos and all the other type of things. And you kind of just look at the facts, because the facts are the facts. They don't have feelings. They they just are data, and hopefully that helps you. We have a great day, and there is your update. So if you are looking to either sell or buy a home in Thurston County, or actually in any part of Washington, we'd be able to help you with that. Click the link in the description below and jump on my calendar, and we'll have a conversation to see how I can be helpful. Have a great day.